Why does it seem that Japan always gets the cool stuff, and by the time the cars make it over here to the US, we don't get any of the cool features? One example of what I'm talking about is in Japan, this is supposed to be a fog light. However, here in the US, we just get this terrible fake vent. So today, I'm gonna be installing the GCS fourth brake light with the reverse function, as well as this plug and play OLM harness, and we're gonna see what this WRX looks like without this terrible fake vent. For this installation today, I'm going to be following OLM's instruction manual, and if you guys want to download this yourself at home, I'll put a link in the description, and that way you can follow along every step of the process. So the first thing we got to do is pop the trunk, and that's going to give us access to a plastic screw clip right here, and we're going to remove that as well as this trim. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to piggyback off of the taillight harness, and that way we get signal for our fourth brake light. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, remove the screw clip located on the upper trim of this taillight. The next step is to carefully remove this plastic trim piece, and you want to get behind it with a screwdriver or a pry bar, and just be careful so you don't break it, and you want to pry to the back of the car. Sometimes you might also have to pry towards the center of the car, and then there's one on the bottom, and then just like that, comes out. Now go ahead and remove these two 10mm bolts that are holding the taillight onto the car. The next step is to gently pry behind the taillight to remove the pop clip holding on the corner piece. And just like that, it should come loose. It really doesn't take very much force. Since we have taken these taillights on and off several times, our plastic piece here that holds it to the body came with it, but you can just easily stick that back in. Most likely yours will just stay in place, but just so you know, don't freak out if this plastic clip comes with. All right, now all you gotta do is unplug the taillight, and after that, you should be good to go. Grab your OLM plug and play harness and route the loose ends of the wires through the same opening that your taillight harness goes through. We're gonna fish this out by the bumper a little later, and you're gonna want to make sure that you can grab that loose end. Now, with these two clips, you wanna just plug it into the body harness. So this plugs right in here, and then grab your taillight assembly and plug this connection back into your taillight, like so. Now make sure you don't get these wires pinched, so you're gonna wanna have these in the cavity of the car so that they're out of the way. And now with all that done, you can go ahead and reinstall your taillight. Same way that we removed it, you just wanna put that little clip into place and then put your two 10mm bolts. Technically, the torque spec on these is 5.5 foot-pounds. I'm not gonna use a torque wrench to get the taillight torque to spec. I'm just gonna use a socket, and when I feel it get nice and snug, I'm gonna go ahead and stop. There's no reason to overdo it. Moving under the car, you're gonna wanna take a flathead screwdriver and remove these pop clips that are holding on the bumper cover. Next, locate the OLM harness and try and fish it down through that hole and route it towards the center of the vehicle. Peel back some of this rubber shielding on the OLM harness, that way you can make a good connection. Using a wire crimper, add the provided female connections to the OLM harness, and then we'll add the male connections to the F1 light. I ran out of time yesterday with the fourth brake light install, so today we're gonna pick up where we left off. Really all there is left to do is to connect the fourth brake light to the OLM harness, get everything buttoned back up, and we should be good to go. In the OLM instructions, there is a diagram showing you exactly what the different colors of wires mean, so make sure you pay attention to that when you're hooking up your fourth brake light. And for our GCS fourth brake light, there is actually a sticker that tells us exactly what goes where. So this is gonna be based off of that sticker specifically, but it will differ depending on which fourth brake light you buy. To remove the center vent, all you have to do is push in on the tabs on top of it, as well as the bottom, and push it towards the rear of the car, and it should come free. To install your fourth brake light, pull the bumper cover down and slide it into place. You want to make sure that you get those tabs lined up in those little holes. Let's start hooking up the connections. Start by taking your two black wires and connecting those together. Those are your ground. Then connect the red wire from the fourth brake light to the green and black striped wire on the OLM harness. These are your brake lights. Next, connect the white wire from the OLM harness to the red wire from the fourth brake light. That is your reverse light. Last, hook up the two green wires together. These are your running lights. There is a turn signal light on the OLM harness. However, our fourth brake light does not have that function, so I'm gonna just leave that unhooked for now. Before you get everything tidied up, I'd recommend that you check your work. So get a friend to hop inside the car and go through the functions, and that way you can make sure that everything works properly. Use a zip tie to coil up your harness neatly, and then zip tie it to the body of the car so that it doesn't slide around and it'll stay put while you're driving. Make sure you route your OLM harness in a way that it's not gonna fall down and hit the exhaust. That would be bad. It would definitely melt if you did that. Now that we got our harness properly secured, you can reinstall the pop clips. Reinstall the trim cover on your taillight now that we know everything works and we don't have to remove it anymore. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy that awesome fourth brake light that you just installed.